Hello darlings, happy Thursday. It is Thursday, isn't it? Good gracious me, I thought Thursday was yesterday, to be honest. It's just been one of those days, one of those weeks. So yesterday evening, I did a post about triggers for the feminine collective. So I'm speaking to quite a few people who are going through these triggers, and the triggers usually are something connected to your connection, your divine counterpart connection, twin flame connection. And honestly, the triggers are there for you to process and work through. And as difficult as it can be, sometimes the masculine is represented as our shadow side. And they are your divine mirror. So what you will find is, while you're living your life, they will be living theirs, absolutely. But they've got to go through various distortions in the 3D physical, whereas you clear a lot of your distortions quicker than they do and sooner than they do. And you can also do a lot of clearing in 5D state. Have you ever woken up from a dream and found you've got bruises and scratches and bite marks where the fuck you didn't before? Yeah? It's really strange, but sometimes that can happen. It doesn't just happen on this journey. It can happen in a number of ways, but sometimes the feminine does a lot of clearing in a different dimension to the masculine, and then the masculine will clear work through the distortions that they have to in their matrix. They stay in the matrix usually a lot longer than we do in some cases. I mean, obviously every journey is an anomaly. Every journey is very, very different. And there are some masculines out there that are very awake and aware and living their purpose, but they still have shit to heal, because healing is non-linear. And if you are masculines watching this, I do not say this to judge you. No. If you knew half of the shit I'd got up to in my life, you would definitely not be letting me sit there going, oh, you can't fucking judge people, can you? No, this isn't about judgment. This is about observation. This is about the journey. This is about a soul's growth. Your souls chose to come here and go through those distortions. Your souls chose to come here and grow through the connection that you have with your feminine. And for feminines watching this, your souls agreed to grow with the connection you have with your masculine. So, you know, and the feminine in you, the feminine in them is you, and the masculine in you is them. You are connected very, very strongly, and they can be very polarizing, these journeys, and very challenging and very difficult, and they will trigger the absolute fuck out of you, because you need to do the fucking healing work. And if they're choosing other people, where are you not choosing you? Look at the mirror exercise. It really does fucking work. You are mirrors. Everybody you meet is a mirror in some description, and everybody you meet is a reflection of where you are on your own healing path, right? However, your twin flame, divine counterpart, whatever fuck label you want to call it, and whatever label you associate with, they are your biggest mirror. Which means when you're going through such challenging triggers, they're going to hurt even more. And this is why so many people go, oh, the twin flame journey is so fucking toxic. Do you know what? Yeah, it is actually, at times. Yeah, it is. But it's not because the person is toxic, you or them. It's because you're both dealing with toxic situations. And it can be very challenging and very polarizing, and you just think it's unrelenting. I do not get a fucking minute's breath before the next fucking trigger comes along. But for a lot of you, and this, I don't say this to trigger you or for you to attach. Part of the reason why you're going through these triggers like this, rapidly, like rapid fire, is because you've got a union on the way. But in order for you to get to a union outside of you, you need to get that union inside of you. And the only way you're going to get that union inside of you, where you have a balanced nervous system, is by doing the fucking work, okay? Wow, that was a lot. So, I love the fact it's raining. Can't just say it's fucking raining, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm so happy it's raining, because the grasses around the UK are just shot to shit, and we fucking need rain so badly. So I'm so grateful it's raining, and all the farmers do as well. Anyway, I digress. You know, these journeys are not for the faint of heart. You chose these journeys because you are strong enough to handle them, even though it doesn't feel like that at the time, and you think, the actual fuck did I choose this for? You chose it to grow. You chose it to use that person to come back to yourself. They will never choose you while you aren't choosing you. And the sooner you realise that, the fucking better. You have to choose yourself. If you don't, you're just absolutely missing the whole purpose of the twin flame divine counterpart journey. And yeah, a twin flame can become a divine counterpart. In some cases, a twin flame stays a twin flame and doesn't evolve to a divine counterpart. The divine counterpart is the person God has for you. That is my understanding. Do not shoot the messenger. It is my understanding from my own journey. But a divine counterpart can still trigger the fuck out of you. They really can, trust me. They really, really can. But it's all for a higher good. It's all for yours and theirs highest good. And you know, ultimately, fam, you just want to be focused on doing the healing work, getting into your purpose and being there of service to humanity. And that is when your masculine will do the same. Now, in some cases, like I said to you, some masculines are already doing that. And it can be they're doing it in the corporate world. It can be they're doing it in, you know, a healing journey, a healing business. It doesn't fucking matter. Your focus is you. Respectfully, you don't need to worry about what they're up to. You need to focus on you. I do understand that's difficult sometimes, and I do understand that you can feel pulls to them that you can't explain, but that's the fucking journey. But then you have to also understand that both of you have karmic lessons to learn, and both of you will be feeling karmic pulls to people that you can't understand as well. But it's because you've got to go through it. Even though you love your counterpart, you've still got to go through certain things with people. And it can be in a friendship way. It can be something to do with family. It can be something to do with work. It can be to do with another relationship, a situationship, a situationship, a fucking fling. Who cares? Whatever it is, it's not about you. And it's not about them. You know, whatever they've got to do is nothing to do with you. Whatever you've got to do is nothing to do with them. Do you see what I mean? You've got to let them deal with what they've got to deal with. And these triggers that could be happening at the hands of a third party or karmic people around you and them, they are happening quickly so that you clear them quickly. And remember, a trigger is an opportunity to heal. Also, when a trigger happens, it's bringing back the trauma of what caused the problem in the first place. So if your trauma is around being chosen, if your trauma is around people being chosen over you, over and over and over again in a plethora of ways throughout your fucking life, guess what? Your masculine's going to trigger the absolute fuck out of you when they don't choose you. And when they look like they're choosing others over you, you're going to be like, well, what's wrong with me? What have I done? Just fucking do your healing work. Heal that little person inside of you that needed someone when they didn't have it growing up. Reparent your inner child. If you need help with that, I will help you. And I know I'm sounding very direct, but honestly, my teacher, my shamanic teacher, gave me a name that means wrathful in my shamanic name when I completed my shamanic course last year. And honestly, I haven't shared what that name is, but part of it is very, very wrathful, the name, and direct. And I am the epitome of, that's why I changed back to the sassy spiritualist. I thought, yeah, okay, I'll do a lot more healings and stuff, but I feel like I'm not embodying who I really am if I try and just be that empowered soul alchemist. Yes, I am empowered. Yes, and I will empower you. And I'll remind you who the fuck you are. But the sassy spiritualist is me at my core. Yeah, I swear. Do I give a fuck? No. My family swear. We're all swearers. With the exclusion of the C-bomb, we are all swearers in my family, right? We all swear a fucking lot. All of us. And, you know, I come from a generation where my grandmother, God rest her soul, I love you, Grandma, she's watching over me now, as she is all of us. She's here as well in this house quite a lot, which I love. She never really, damn and blast or bugger, that's about it. Whereas I say everything, but I don't say the C-bomb very often. If I do, I've really got to mean it for me to say that to you. Unless I'm saying it in a colloquial way, in a colloquialism, or in a sort of, all right, yeah, you know, in a nice, playful, greeting kind of way. It's not something I just say willy-nilly, and I certainly won't say it on camera. If I do, it's a fucking mistake, right? And I know there's a lot of people out there that will say that word, but and it's satisfying as fuck, it is. I honestly feel it is, but my favourite is still fuck. And bollocks. And twat and wanker. I don't say wanker very often either. The private education is well and truly coming out here. I learned how to swear at school. What did you learn how to do? But my point is, you know, I can't help people understand gently, softly, slowly, catch a monkey. I need you to understand in no uncertain terms why you are here. And if you need help understanding that, I can be that person for you. And having been on this journey for a long time with one person and now with another, the one that I'm now connected to and have been a while, I don't want to say too much about it because it's private, but it's taught me a lot. And there've been some very difficult parts to the journey. And what you have to realize is you, feminine, lead energetically, okay? So if you're struggling with something that your counterpart is doing, they're going to be, and you're in that fear-based energy, they're going to be in that fear-based energy. When you see the trigger and you go, okay, right, fine. What are you trying to show me here, Spirit? What's the lesson? Look at it that way rather than, what the fuck is this happening to me again for? No. And like I say, healing is non-linear. You will cycle back to the same thing over and 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 over again until you learn the fucking lesson. And sometimes your counterpart does have a lesson for you. Yes, they do. And sometimes that lesson is just you choosing yourself and not taking anything they do personally, because that's their journey. Listen, it can hurt like an absolute, it can stab you in the heart. It can rip your heart out. It can absolutely fucking destroy you. However, that's their journey and you have to leave them to it. You have to be okay with whatever they're doing. And another thing on this journey is, whatever the masculines are up to, when you guys are not in communication or not in each other's lives, however long that is lasting for, you will always find out what that is, because it's part of your healing journey to understand. Oh, right, okay, so when they were telling me this telepathically, they were actually doing this in the real life. The truth will always prevail, the truth will always come out. And that's where the masculines think, fuck. And the other thing that has to happen as well with these triggers, and I don't say this to manipulate them at all, I don't, but what I'm finding with many people on this path, friends and clients alike, when they do trigger you, you get so angry and upset with them that they feel that on the core. They feel it to their core. They feel it on a cellular level. They feel it in their heart. They feel it in the soul. And it actually makes them go, oh, fuck. Shit, I need to do something about this. I can't. And it will actually make them change a little bit. It will make them go and do something differently towards you, or it might energetically, you'll feel a shift. Like, there are so many, these journeys, honestly, they're a fucking ball bag at times, but they're honestly so incredible at the same time. Like, they're so magical in so many ways. And what you have to do is adopt an eagle perspective where you are looking at everything from a wider lens. Because the minute you go, let's just focus in on what's going on in the immediate environment, you're failing the fucking bigger picture again. Look at it from a wider perspective. And I tell myself this too daily. Look at it from a soul's perspective, because lessons have to be learned. You have to be okay with whatever they're doing. If they are actively choosing to hurt you with their decisions, i.e. they're being an absolute arsehole, then you have to question, are they actually someone of, divine connection to you? A twin flame, true twin flame, divine counterparts connection, the dynamic, they're not going to be an arsehole deliberately. It's because they've got no choice, because they're hemmed in by a karmic situation, they're hiding you to protect you, and sometimes you can feel like, well, what about me? Like, everybody else gets their attention but me, like, what the fuck? Yet you know you've got something special, and guess what? They know as well. And that's the other thing I'm going to say, feminines. The masculines know before you do there's something special about your connection. Trust me. And they're usually the chasers in the beginning. And they're the ones that have the feelings for you before you do them. All right? They're the ones that effectively have love at first sight in some cases. They'll look at you and go, oh, holy fuck, who is that? And they'll just know there's something different about you. Whatever they're going through, whether they're married, in a relationship, dating, whatever the fuck they're doing, they're going to look at you and be like, okay, who's that? And be like, where have you been? Like, wow, I've been waiting for you all my life. Honestly, they just know you're different. And then when you wake up to the connection, they go, oh, okay, I think I might go on a little jolly now and fuck off from the connection. And that's when they get terrified, because they're like, shit, I'm not good enough for this person. But the masculines that I'm channeling are doing the work. They are doing the work. They are sitting there doing the work. They're sitting there with very difficult truths and facing the people that have treated them like shit all their life. They're looking at them going, I'm sorry, why have I let you do that? Why have I allowed myself to be a people pleaser? Why have I let people run roughshod over my emotions? Why have I let people suppress my emotions? Why have I let people suppress my voice? Why have I not stood to these people? Why have I not called them a C-bomb when I need to, respectfully? Why have I not told them to fuck off when I need to? And this is what's happening in these eclipses at the moment. We're in between eclipses. If shit's leaving your life in eclipse season, good, you know, in a relationship, in a connection, in a karmic connection, in a fucking whatever the relationship is, whatever the context is, if it is leaving your life, it is because it is meant to at this time. Now, that could be for betterment of something to come in a dynamic, yes, but in a lot of cases, all the shit that can't serve you anymore is going, and it's being ripped off without a band-aid. Okay, feminine, you'll be feeling this as well. Like shit that used to work, shit that used to give you comfort, shit that used to make you go, oh my God, I'm so happy about this. No. If you're playing small, that's being stopped. If you're in people pleaser mode, that's being stopped. If you are dealing with imposter syndrome, that is being removed. There is no room for imposter syndrome where you're going. And that's taking me to quote, where we're going, we don't need roads, from Back to the Future. 80s classic film, loved. I can still see his wild hair now. And oh my God, Marty Pallet. Oh, do you know what? I might have to watch Back to the Future. I seriously might have to watch that because they're such good films. Anyway, I digress. Bottom line is, everything that's moving away from you or changing, and it's happening rapidly because eclipses literally do eclipse your life. It's all happening for a better good. It's all happening for a higher good. And it's very difficult and very challenging, but it's all happening. And this is why so many triggers are happening at this time, right? Your masculines are going through said triggers too. That could be you triggering them in some way, but a lot of them are being triggered to make some decisions about karmic people. And a lot of them are like, okay, I don't want this person in my life anymore. You literally need to just fuck off. But some of them can't just turn around and say that because they're worried of the repercussions, which is fair enough. So they're trying to do it in a way that's more subtle. But the problem is some of them will just fade out people, and that doesn't work. I've tried it. You fade people out, it doesn't work. I have to be direct. If I don't want you in my life because I realise you're using gutter snipe or you're toxic as fuck to me, you're gone. Sometimes I won't even give you the time of day to even answer a message of me saying, I don't want you in my life anymore, see you later. You just get blocked and deleted. I don't have time to have people like that in my life. I don't. I'm sorry, but I don't. Too many people have tried to fuck me over, and guess what? None of them have ever gone on and been prosperous. None of them. And that's the thing with these journeys. When you are here to spread light and spread unconditional love down onto the earth grids, you will find people will try and oppose you in every fucking way possible. They will try and oppose your connection. They will try and call you a dickhead. They will try and call you a delusional. They will try and make you out to be fucking crazy. They will gaslight you. And because others around you are gaslighting you, guess what? Who else will gaslight you? Yes, your counterpart. Yeah? Because you're gaslighting yourself to believing that these people are worthy of your fucking time. You have to speak your truth. Your ancestors couldn't speak their truth, and if they did speak their truth, they were burned at the stake, they were hung, you know, they went through horrendous deaths to then serve you to be able to speak your truth. Why on earth would you not give them the justice they deserve by not speaking your truth? Because you're fearful of how that will unfold. This includes being authentic. You can be an authentic liar. Yeah, you can. You can be authentic in a plethora of ways. But deep down in your cellular levels, in your heart, in your soul, your truth, if you really truthfully sit with that, is different to what you are putting out for the universe to see. And this is where the masculines are going, I cannot abide by this anymore. I've got to speak my truth. So that's why so many of them are letting go of karmics in a plethora of ways. Karmic partners, they might be going through final proceedings in a separation, you know. They could be still having karmic people in and out, bothering them like a little fucking fly that won't fuck off. And they're like, right, you gotta go. Yeah, okay, I'm compassionate and kind and loving, but you take the piss, fuck off, you know. and you could be finding this as well, Fem, where you're like, I can't do this anymore. I have to move away from these people who have taken the piss out of me. I have to get away from them. I have to choose peace over winning. And karmic people, you know, because you can have good karmic people as well, but because so many counterparts are so close to something amazing happening, a lot of misjustice has been served to both counterparts. And it's like, right, and the thing is, because the masculines go through such difficult lessons, they then will act, you know, they'll treat the feminine rather unfairly, and you know, that then creates karma in the connection. And it's like, oh fuck. And the longer it takes for you to get into any kind of union, the more there's karma to clear, right? So if they're choosing other people, but they're also having to be quite direct with you, or they just have to block you or ignore you or push you out at whatever, you know, whatever that means, like you've had to move away from them and you've had to go into complete and utter separation, there is a reason for that. And it's usually because the people around them cannot be around you, and vice versa, right? You've got people to close out, you've got karmic cycles to close out. And it takes time. Like, again, I'll say it until I'm blue in the face, these journeys are not for the faint of heart. They're very, very triggering, very, very challenging, very, very traumatizing, very, very polarizing. And you honestly can feel like you're fucking crazy. And because so many feminines are being triggered at the minute, it's collective. You're not alone. You're not on your own. And, you know, people are coming to me going, I need some help. I can't deal with this. Can you help me understand why this is happening? And I'm like, yeah, sure, let's sit down. Let's look at the bigger picture here. And straight away, I'm able to go, okay, this is why it's happening. This. And because you're not choosing yourself is usually a lot to do with it. When you are choosing yourself and they're still not able to choose you, you have to choose yourself for you. You cannot choose yourself and go, oh yeah, if I choose myself, they'll come to me then. No, because that's attachment. You have to be attached to you, your life, your goals. Well, practicing non-attachment to everything in life is the key, really. To money, to home, to family, to friends, to this connection, to other people. You know, you have to be in a place where you are okay with everything unfolding how it is and living in the power of now, living in the present moment. It is called the present because it is a gift. Going old is a privilege, right? So I urge you to understand that while the triggers are absolutely destabilizing at times, the more you go through them, the quicker you go through them, the easier they are to clear. And your job as a feminine is to balance yourself energetically. Your job is to get regulated in your nervous system so that when things come to you, you can hold the frequency of union, you can hold the frequency of money. Many of you come to me and you're like, I need the journey of abundance because I'm getting paid, I'm earning money, but then it goes. And I'm like, right, it's because you're not able to hold it. You're not able to hold it because your nervous system isn't regulated. So then you have to get to a place again where you regulate your nervous system, and that can be through breath work, that can be through doing things that you love, singing, dancing, humming, which activates the vagus nerve, the biggest nerve in the body. I'm not a fucking scientist or a fucking doctor, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I know the vagus nerve is very, very powerful and very, very essential to be working. And if that's triggered and not working properly, you'll know, because you'll be all over the fucking place. And I'm feeling quite like almost lightheaded as I'm sitting here talking to you, because you know, so many of you are discombobulated. And guess what? Your counterpart is as well. When you balance things out in your life, you then give them that strength to go, okay, I can figure out what the fuck's going on in my life now, and I can start working through stuff. And, you know, the more you work on you, the more they will work on themselves and then come and work on you as well. Do you know what I mean? I don't mean that rudely, but they'll come to you in the time that's correct. A lot of them do not want to bring you into their life while there's shit going on. They don't want to embroil you in that. You don't deserve that. They want you there in their life when things are calmer for them. But in order for you to feel safe within your own vessel, you have to feel stabilized within. You have to feel calm and regulated within. And only then can you start to receive everything that's coming for you. Money, love, companionship, new clients, new friends, soul tribe. You know, it really is a case of that regulation. It's so important to regulate that nervous system. And if you don't do it, you won't be able to hold money. You won't be able to hold anything. You certainly won't be able to hold union. If you're not in union within you, the Hirius Gamos within you, the sacred union within you, the masculine and feminine balance within you, you'll never ever have that committed relationship with whoever the fuck it is. It doesn't matter. You won't have it. And if you do have a relationship, it won't be what you want. It might be what you need to learn something, but invariably that's just two dysregulated people coming together. That's not what twin flames are. That is not what twin flames are. That is not what divine counterparts are. When union is right, it will be two people who are regulated, who can regulate themselves, regulate their own emotions without thinking of the other getting in the way. You come together balanced, you come together aligned, you come together the same frequency. Not like this. You're on the same frequency, right? And it's in purpose, it's in love, it's in compassion, it's in understanding. It's, oh my God, I'm great on my own, but with you, we can fucking take the world on. Do you know what I mean? It's a real, like, power couple vibe. And it's really beautiful. Like, I have quite a few clients who are in union, which is why they're not clients anymore, because they're together. But the work doesn't stop just because you're in union, you know? You still have things to work through. Oh, fuck me, that's cold coffee. Christ, I can't deal with it. Sorry, God, sorry. I don't blaspheme very often, so that just snuck out. So someone's obviously saying that word quite a bit. What else was I going to say to you about all of this? We're all guided to do things differently. Like, you probably won't see me doing as many readings because Spirit's like, you need to push your other services because people just think you're a reader. No, I am called the sassy spiritualist. Therefore, I'm a spiritual life coach. So yes, I can help you with your reading. Yes, I can channel for you in a plethora of ways. But ultimately, I'm here to remind you of who the fuck you are. And I get called a spiritual mother quite a lot as well, which is beautiful because I won't be a biological mother in this lifetime. I really don't think so. And furthermore, I think this is my last lifetime as well. So, because I don't really want to do Earth School again. I'm quite happy to go to like another fucking planet, quite frankly. And I know a lot of you will be like, yeah, resonation with that, definitely. But, you know, I have a grounded approach in many ways, yes. But having been on this journey for so long, I've learned a lot. And I have a lot to teach. And you'll find I might do more educational videos like this about the twin flame journey, about divine counterparts, about ascension, about healing, about inner child work, about quantum work, about quantum healing therapy. A number of things are coming through right now. I might talk to you about life purpose. I might talk to you about a past life regression. You know, I might talk to you about the importance of learning how to do Reiki, because we've all got healing hands, guys. We've all got healing hands, let me tell you. We've all got it. We've all got it within us. And we've all got psychic abilities. It's just we were dumbed down from school, like programming, to learn, you know, an educational system that's designed to fucking crucify you in the nicest way. It's designed to cause you nothing but actual distress because you're programmed. Like, time is a fucking illusion. Time doesn't exist, really. But we're so programmed to believe it does. Like, morning, you have your breakfast. Lunch, you have food at lunch. Dinner, you eat, you know, a dinner. And I'm like, I eat intermittent fast. That's why I'm so slim. I eat intermittent fast. I'll snack when I need to, but invariably I snack quite healthily, to be honest. I eat a lot of fruit and a lot of veg. Not so much salad, but I eat a lot of fruit and veg. I also have a lot of dark chocolate, but I don't drink alcohol anymore. I gave up to it a bit years ago. I drink a lot of water and a lot of coffee. I know coffee's not always the best, but that's decaf, if I remember rightly. That is a cold decaf coffee. So I might as well call it an iced coffee right now, or a nice latte. But yeah, these journeys are not for the faint of heart. And whatever your masculine is doing, it's not about you. It's about them and their journey and their soul contracts to close out. And for you to be in union with them, they've got to close out those contracts. If they don't learn the lessons they need to learn with one person and it gets closed out too soon, they have to then learn it with someone else. And this is what's happened. Some of them have separated from a long-term karmic partner and then gone on and had to meet someone else because you weren't meant to be that person that they go on and have the relationship with straight away. They have to learn something else, that they had split from someone who was teaching them stuff, but they have to learn it from other people, and it's not been nice. Like, you know, they probably tried to tell themselves, oh, this is right, this is good, this is what I want. And it's like, no, dude, you've gone straight from one relationship to another. How on earth is that going to help you? Like, in the past relationships I've had, there was a guy I was dealing with years ago, And he could never be on his own. He always, always, always had to have a woman. And he'd be preparing the next one after he'd split. So he'd always cheat to be with the next person, you know? And it's like, how can you live your life like that, really? Like, really though, how can you? And this is where women, in a lot of the cases, will stay on their own and do some kind of healing work before going after another or going into another relationship. Whereas a lot of men will just jump straight from one to another like that. Right, one woman next, one woman next. Do you know what I mean? And it's not the way to fucking do it. And I think for a lot of these masculines, they're having that realization that they were like, oh my God, what did I do? Oh, wow, that's my person. And they know who you are to them. They're very aware. They're very, very aware. They're shown visions through third eye, dreams, visuals, you know, they have downloads, you know. And another thing I will say to you, those masculines that I keep channeling are very awake to spirits. And spirit and them are in cahoots. Let me tell you, they're in cahoots. They know what's going to happen in your dynamic more than you do. So this is why you got to fucking surrender, femmes. You got to surrender. You need to allow your masculines to come in and surprise you. They cannot do that if you know every fucking thing. So that's why the closer you get to union, these triggers sometimes are not red herrings as such. They're still there to teach you something and to get you to a place of alignment within yourself. Yes, because the journey is all about coming home to you. Absolutely. But a lot of the time, the masculines and spirit are in cahoots. And they're like, look, we know you've triggered the fuck out of her with what you've done, but that's going to give them another lesson to learn. That's going to give them, you know, a sort of other way of surrendering, because they're going to be like, for fuck's sake, I just don't want this anymore. And they'll let that cord drop a little bit and loosen a little bit. And then that then makes masculines go, right, I need to do something. And then it will happen again. And right, I need to do something else. And, you know, you have to trust something that you can only feel. You can't see sometimes. You can't always see what's going on because you're not meant to. And if you were seeing what was going on, that would trigger you as well. And if you are put in a position where you have to see what's going on to get to the trigger, to then come to the healing space, honestly, it's fucking difficult. It's a bag of dicks. I'm not going to lie. It's a bag of actual dicks sometimes. And, you know, these journeys were never meant for the faint of heart. You are warriors of the divine. You know, we're all God's children, yes, but those who have chosen to bring love down onto the earth grids, those who have chosen to bring healing down onto the earth grids, to help humanity, to stand and fight on the front line of spiritual warfare like a lot of us have, you're going to have to go through shit show after shit show after shit show after shit show to get there. I'm sorry to tell you that, but you are, okay? It is not something that's going to be easy. And what is easy isn't worth it anyway. Something that's worth it takes time, takes precision. You have to allow for that because you want that person in the best energy. They want you in the best energy. But for a lot of the masculines, they also want to be your provider, your protector. They want to take care of you. They want to love you in a way you've never been loved before, because that's how you have made them feel. You have shown them love unconditionally when nobody else has at times. And especially for those who, you know, have had to have work, you know, they've had to do a lot of inner child work. They've had to really sit with this energy of, oh my Lord, like, I need to do some inner child work. Like, I've got father wounds, I've got mother wounds, whatever the situation, you know, you've been compassionate for that. And because you are so loving and so kind and so compassionate, you've also shown them where they haven't been given that love from their caregivers at times in their childhood. And some of them have had an absolutely abysmal childhood. Some of them have had a very abusive childhood. Some of you have. This is where inner child work is really important, and reparenting that little person inside you. It's so, so important. These journeys, you chose it. Respectfully, you chose it. Now, you know when everybody says, oh, you know, everything that happens in life, you've chosen it. To a degree, I do agree with that. Like your name, your family, your parents, yes. And the dynamics you came into, yeah, to a degree, you've chosen to go in and grow in difficult dynamics because that's all karma and you're closing out, you know, generational stuff. Yeah, I get that from your lineage. I understand that. But some things happen to you and I don't think you necessarily chose it. I think it just got aligned to you because there is a lesson that you may have chosen to learn, not necessarily how you chose to learn it. It's like there's a lesson you have to learn about something horrific, because then you can take that medicine and give it to someone else who needs your help, right? And the healer or practitioner or whatever you want to call yourself has to go through and find that medicine themselves first before they can help others, right? And that's a big spiral effect and, you know, snowball effect. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave that there because I've rattled on for 35 minutes. Sorry about that. If this resonates, comment, let me know what you think. I'm going to be doing more educational talks. It's really been like I have got quite a bit of wisdom from many lifetimes. I'm an old soul, and most twin flames are an old soul. Like, even if there's an age difference and one of you is a lot younger than the other, you are still old souls between you, right? You really, really are. It's just that in some cases, the younger person has agreed to stay in the matrix or learn shit in the matrix that you can't abide by, and that's why you're not dealing with it, because you've already dealt with it years before. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's, and on these journeys, sometimes there can be a big age gap. Like, you're talking 20, 30 years, sometimes 40 years in some cases. Sometimes it's 10 years, sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's a couple, sometimes there is no age gap. But just because there is no age gap doesn't mean it's not that dynamic, you know? Like, I know people who are exactly the same age and they're growing and healing individually, and things are being closed out and they're so close to union, it's unbelievable. And I think for a lot of you, you are close, but you've got to get to that inner union first. And when you have been in inner union and then you fucking come out of it, that's hard. Because I've been in inner union a few times over the last few years, like really and truly been in that balanced space. When I was dealing with the other person who, you know, in some cases, I do believe was a divine masculine, if you want to call him that. And he helped me in many ways, and he got me to my purpose, and he did help me choose myself. But then it was stopped because there was someone more appropriate for me, or someone else I needed to learn something from and gain from, and, you know, not gain from, that sounds like it's karmic, learn lessons from, or understand more about unconditional love. Like, I guess I had to be shown unconditional love from that person that I wasn't shown from the other person, you know? And for some of you have two masculine counterparts where you've met one, they get you to a certain level, but what they're actually doing is preparing you for this other person. And that's where my journey fits in. And I know there's people out there that are going to go, that's a load of shit, it's just fucking karmic, rah, rah, rah. No. No, because I had so much that I have in this current dynamic that I had with that person. It's just this current dynamic, everything is more emphasized, everything is incredibly enlightened, but it's amplified because it's a different dynamic compared to what I had with the other person for nearly 10 years. And that's why I'm a teacher on this journey, to help those who have thought, oh God, that was my twin. Oh no, that is my twin. Rather than focus on who is and who isn't, remember what you are here for, and that's to come home to you. And you're going to have people that will show you that. And your twin flame divine counterpart is the biggest mirror to show you to come back to yourself. It is all about you, that sovereign frequency within you. And the person that I'm now connected to and have been a while has helped me come back home to myself again and again and again. And they've triggered me at times. Yeah, I'm sure I've triggered them too. And we grow and we heal alongside them energetically to then bring it to the 3D. And you lead energetically, femmes, so that they can lead in the 3D when the time is right. And what will be. And everyone has to practice non-attachment. Even though you may be told, that's your person, whatever you are told, sit with discernment, because there's a lot of shit written about this journey. And there's a lot of people that say, oh, your twin flame's just there to wake you up. You're not meant to be with them. No, that's absolute balderdash. I'm sorry, that to me is balderdash, because real true union is rare, because so many people get stuck in loops with people that they think is their twin when actually it isn't, right? And the amount of people that have come to me and said, oh my God, it's not that person, I actually feel it's this, and it's turned out that was their person, and they're now on the healing journey together, you know. And when you have that realization that, oh my God, it's that person, not that person, but you're also like, well, who am I when I'm around them? Or like, who do I like myself when I'm around them? You know, you'll probably find a lot of the time you were dealing with the other person, you didn't always like yourself. You thought you did. Whereas with the real counterpart, you're suddenly like, oh, actually, I like who I'm becoming. I actually start to really love myself. I'm actually doing the work. I'm doing the work. Like, I thought I was doing the work. I wasn't. I was so busy, I didn't have time to. I was so busy and booked, I didn't have time to. So Spirit slowed me the fuck down the past year and a half. And I'm like, right, okay. Got it. Thanks for that, Spirit. And it's like, you need to learn to do the healing work. You'll always be okay financially. We'll always provide for you. But you need to be slowed down to integrate the lessons you are learning from your new direction, your new path. And I'll say the same to all of you. You know, the journeys aren't for the faint of heart. And you will trigger the fuck out of each other. You really will. Like, brutally at times. But ultimately, underneath all of that is love. Underneath all of it, even when they drive you in fucking sane, you still love them. You still love them. You still know that you love them. You still have this unconditional love for them. But unconditional love does not equal unconditional disrespect or unconditional tolerance. Know when the boundaries need to be put in place. And let me be clear about something else as well. Your masculine wants you to put those boundaries in place with them. They do not want you chasing after them when they're not treating you nicely. They want you to have firm boundaries in place. They want you to have those firm boundaries in place because you are teaching them that you will put yourself first. Okay? So the boundaries are absolutely necessary. They find it quite sexy. They like they like the boundaries. As long as you're not shouting and screaming at them, they like the boundaries because they're knowing you are sitting there going, well, I know my worth and I've had it fucking taxed. And if you're not willing to rise up to meet me, see you later, bye-bye. You're not afraid to walk away from them if you need to. They find that while it's terrifying for them and very polarizing, they also go, right, okay, I need to buck up my ideas. You know, they know that you will not tolerate low energy or low vibe energy or mistreatment or anything that the karmics respectfully will settle for. You have to show them through your own treatment of yourself, i.e. choosing yourself and your family and your immediate family, if you're a mother or a father, you have to show them that they are not the be-all and end-all in your life. Yeah, you love them unconditionally, you think the world of them, you talk to them telepathically, you might be in communication with them in the 3D, yeah, fan-fucking-tastic. You might be around them in the 3D. Whatever's going on in your dynamic, it's all unfolding how it's supposed to. Divine timing really is at work, it really is at play. But if you allow them to treat you any other way than what you deserve, they're not going to respect you for that. They're going to be like, what are you doing? Like, you know when you've done something that's gone against your actual will or gone against your judgment, your better judgment, you've fucking regretted it and you've gone, oh God, why have I done that? That's really not good. And then that's probably been quite repellent to your masculine because you're chasing after a potential of them, but they can't reach their potential if you're chasing after them in the energy they're in when they're showing you shit treatment or they're not giving you what you deserve, right? So when you go, do you know what? I deserve more than that. I'm pulling myself back. I'm pulling my energy back. I'm going to focus on me. I'm going to put these boundaries in place. They're like that. Thank you. They're like that behind the scenes. They're clapping, going, thank the Lord. They're doing what's right for them. They're not focused on me. Now, when you've got a counterpart who is very aware of your connection, not necessarily the label, but they're very aware there is something big happening between you. And then you've got spirit whispering in your ear saying, look, you know, this is happening and that's happening and the other's happening and you need to trust this. And then they're trying to get you to do something towards your counterpart and you're like, I don't want to do that. Listen to the nudge. I know there's a lot of people out there that are going, don't fucking chase them. Don't be messaging them. Do what your soul is calling you to do. If you have got a nudge to look at their social media, trust that that is happening for a reason. And it could be because there's a trigger on there you need to see and heal and purge through. But it could be there's a message in there for you because that's the only way they can communicate, right? If you are feeling the urge or this, like, I've just got to message them, do it. Because I can tell you now, They're obviously needing to hear from you in some way. And you might find they respond to you. If you can do it with in a place of no expectation and no expectation and complete and utter let go. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't vibe. Like completely release all expectation. You may find they reply and go, oh my God, I really needed to hear from you. I'm going through a shit time. Thank you for reaching out. How are you? It might start something. They might fucking disappear again. It might be the start of something else. I don't fucking know. Everyone's journey is different. But follow the nudges your soul is giving you, because it's your higher self saying, look, we need to speak to them. We need to connect with them. We need to do this. We need to do that. Or it could be spirit saying, look at their page. There's something you need to see. Don't get me wrong. They're going to be looking at your page, probably more than you think. They're little spies. And, you know, when you start seeing different accounts rocking up, following you, or in your stories, 9 times out of 10, that's going to be either the karmic feminine watching you or the masculine watching you. Especially when you have got a platform that they can see as well, right? You've just got to realise that these paths, it's all about you, fam. Really and truly, it is all about you. But I do understand that, like the karmic feminine, sometimes you are pulled to check out what they're up to as well. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes you're pulled to check out what they're up to. And again, there will be a reason for it. Like, it's usually to trigger you or to show you something that you need to see. And sometimes it's good and it's like, oh, well, that's a surprise. And sometimes it's, oh, for fuck's sake. It will be what it's meant to be. Excuse me. And when you just practice that true non-attachment and, well, I know this is happening because I've got to go through this and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's like, okay, well, and sometimes it can also be to show you who you are to who they're not, like the karmic feminine. And as I said to you, it's not always a karmic partner. It could be an association through work, family, friends, whatever the fuck it is. It's there to teach your person a lesson that they have to close out themselves. You cannot try and manipulate it. You cannot try and control the narrative. But sometimes you feel these nudges to do something, and if you know you've got to message them, for example, or reach out to them, but you go, no, not doing it, no, that's your ego. But if you go in, do you know what, I'm just going to do it. And if there's no anxiety when you think about it as well, that's your sign to do it. That is your sign to go, fuck it, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it and see what happens. And you may be surprised. If you feel extremely nervous about reaching out to them, then that's probably a chance to not do it. That's probably a sign to not do it. Unless you're already in communication, that's probably a sign not to do it. If you're suddenly feeling this, like, oh my God, I need to message them. Sometimes you could be feeling their energy, yes. But I think for a lot of you, that nudge, I've got clients who will say to me, look, I've got this nudge to message and I feel like I need to. Then they'll do it and then they'll hear back from the masculine and the masculine will be like, oh my God, you really did message me at the right time. This has happened, that's happened. It's great to hear from you. You know, hope you're doing well. And they'll really appreciate it. They might not always be able to respond. They might not always be able to carry on a conversation. But ultimately, just knowing they've heard from you sometimes is enough for them to go, oh, that person still cares. Even, especially if you've put strong boundaries in place, you know? Boundaries are so important on these journeys. They are. And the triggers are also, while awful and polarizing and destabilizing, they are very important as well. Like, they really, really are. Anyway, I think I'm going to shut up now because I've talked for way longer than I thought I was going to. So Cold Coffee and I are leaving the building. We are leaving the chat. If you feel like mentioning anything in this that resonates for you, and if you need any help on your journey, then just message me. Zoe at thesassyspiritualist.co.uk. Go on to Instagram, thesassyspiritualist1111, or the same again on TikTok. Okay? I'll speak soon. Lots of love.